Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do something a little different. We're not going to work on the Miata. We're not working on the WRX. Instead, we're going to work on my sister's 09 Jetta. So the reason why I'm working on it is she has some things wrong with it right now. She wants to get a new car, but I'm not going to let her. This was my first car. When I was about 17, I bought this myself. It is a 2009 Volkswagen Jetta with the 2.5 liter. And it was a beautiful car when I bought it. No rust, had 65,000 miles on it. And, you know, it had the chrome wheels, but I plasti dipped them because I was 17. Got the honeycomb front grille with no emblem because I was cheap. Got the headlights, which are faded really bad now. And of course, being the 17-year-old me, I wanted a loud car. So I got the cheapest thing I could find, which is just going to a muffler shop, having them cut it off and replace it with a pipe. That is one thing we're gonna have to do to this car, because as you can see, this exhaust is just not feeling it today. It's not feeling it anymore. It's a little hot, but I don't think it's supposed to do that. That is the one thing we have to do today. The other thing we have to do, I'm not going to do all this today. It's going to be increments. But the other thing is that we have to do both front axles to it and both front struts and rear shocks. Her AC is also not working. I can't do that right now. I have to go to work to do that because I don't have an AC machine here. But I'm going today I'm going to do the axles and the front struts, and then maybe the rear struts. That might be another video. We'll see. Let me show you guys what the front axles are doing right now. So they're not supposed to click like that. Normally when you hear clicking, that means your axles are bad. It's doing that on both turning left and turning right. So both of them have to be replaced. The struts have to be replaced because over bumps, they're clunking really bad. I can't get that on video for some reason, like it's not picking it up. But they normally clunk really bad. You'll hear a clunking noise over bumps. They're doing that, same with the rears. So I'm going to replace those as well. I don't think it's going to be a hard job. It's going to suck because I don't have all my tools. All my tools are at work, but I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. So let's get this thing in the shop and get it on the jacks, and we'll go from there. So we got the car up on their jack stands. I only did the front wheels up in the air. And now what we have to do is we have to get the wheels off. Both of the front wheels. With this vehicle, Volkswagen does that, I don't know why. Your lug nuts are gonna look like this. Those are not lug nuts. Those are regular covers for your lug nuts. I don't know why they do it. I'm assuming it's just to help prevent corrosion and stuff. But they suck, especially if you don't have like a little hook. So I'm just using this flathead, kind of getting inside and pulling them. And then there's your lug nuts. They are 17mm socket. And I have my impact right here, but my compressor is not working for some reason. It's not building any pressure. So I'm going to have my girlfriend just hold the brake down while I break them off. So let me do that really quick. All right, so with these all loose, I'm going to just use my little battery powered drill, and we're going to take all these off. Be careful about that because these are studs. They're not lug nuts. Like there's no studs that hold the tire on. These are the studs. So make sure, as you just saw, don't let the tire just fall. I'm gonna put the tire off to the side, and now we have this. Brakes actually look pretty good. They look new. So now we have to take off a lot of this stuff, unfortunately. The struts I'm gonna have to take off. I have quick struts. They're in those boxes right there. So I'm gonna have to take that off. We'll have to take the end link off. And then I'll have to loosen the axle nut. And I don't know, I'm debating on if I want to take the whole knuckle out or not, but we'll cross that path when it comes. So let's start taking some stuff off. Okay, first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take this end link over here off. It's just this bolt here that I'm going to want to take off. There's a one down below over here, but I don't have to worry about that. I just want to take this one right here off. It's a 18 millimeter socket, which I do have with me, and gotta figure out where I'm going to put this. But I'm going to attempt to loosen that and take it off. Let's do it. Okay, new plan. So I need a pass-through ratchet. I do not have one with me. So I'm going to try to vice grip the back of this. I'll try to show you quick. I don't know if you can see it, but let me try and get this not as bright. That's even brighter, but there's a little rubber piece right here. There's a little metal piece a little farther in. I'm going to try and get that to vice grip because right now this whole thing is just spinning, so I can't get this off. If all goes well, it'll work fine. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to get new end links, which isn't that bad. They're not super expensive, just kind of an extra step. But I will get back to you. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but if you get a vice grip in there and go onto the back side of the end link, you should be able to get that nut off, because what ends up happening is over time these get bad, the bearings and stuff inside of this, and this just ends up spinning, so you can't get it off unless you hold it. So I'm probably gonna have to get new end links. That's not a problem, but that is how you get that off. So let's continue with pulling this off. Let me get this vice grip out of here. Luckily for me, my new vice grips just came in today. Like, I went up to go get the parts for the Jetta, and the Amazon guy was literally dropping these off. Highly recommend these ones. These are for work. They're just the vice grip Irwin brand. Very good, grip very well. But yeah, take it off. You just put it off to the side. You don't need to take that bottom one off because it won't be in the way, but you can see that rubber part is all torn. That's because I had to get that vice grip and try to pinch that. So we'll end up having to get new ones. That's fine. I won't get them right away, but I will eventually get them. So now, put that bolt aside so I don't lose it. Now what I can do is I'm gonna have to take the axle bolt out right here. That is I believe a 24 millimeter 12 point socket that you'll need for that. And then I'll have to take the control arm bolts out, which I can show you that as well. They're 16 millimeter bolts. And then I'm hoping I should be able to kind of wiggle the whole knuckle out of the way to get that axle out. Let's do this. All right, so to get this control arm here out of the way, there's these 3 16 millimeter bolts that we are going to have to take off. And then you should be able to just pull this down and just leave the ball joint up in the knuckle. Should be super easy, but you know, it's an old car, rusty, so we'll see what happens. Okay, those 3 bolts are off. That was pretty tough without my impact. Not the end of the world, but you know, it's an 09, so I don't even know if these ever been taken off. So they were on there pretty good, so I couldn't even use my electric impact wrench either, which sucks, but we got them off, and now we should hopefully be able to pull this down and away from the ball joint. Let me grab my pry bar and we can attempt to do that. So that wasn't my pry bar, it was just a pipe. My pry bar is up in the car and I didn't feel like going to get it, and this was right here. But it works. So all I did was get underneath the sway bar here and push down, and the control arm pulled down with it. So then that allows me to push the knuckle away. And now all I have to do is loosen up that nut to hopefully get that axle out. Let's do it. Okay, so there was a cut in between me trying to get this axle out and now. It's probably like a couple days after that. I could not get that axle out. It was not coming out of the knuckle. If you look online and look at any other videos, they show that you can just kind of pull it out. They don't account for rust. I'm in Wisconsin. This thing's seen many winters. It's been in Wisconsin its whole life. That axle's never been changed, so it was not coming out. So I had to take it to work. I took it to work today. I heated up that axle and I was able to get it out. While getting that axle out, I also was able to get that old strut out. So now, this is what she's looking like. I took the whole knuckle out, but I still have the axle I have to take out. The axle is stuck in the transmission. Again, it's an 09, never been changed before. So it's kind of being a pain in the butt. But you guys will see that in the video before this, or the cut before this. I was struggling quite a bit. I wanted to include that in there so that you guys can see that it's not always going to be easy. It's sometimes a pain in the butt working on cars, but you have to kind of overcome it and think outside the box and try and get it done. So I think I have an idea on how to get this axle out. I got a pickle fork and my air hammer, and I'm going to try and air hammer it out. I think that's the next thing I'm going to do since I have that knuckle done, and I just have to put this new axle in. So we're going to cut to me trying to take this axle out. Okay guys, we got that axle out. Finally, after working literally all weekend trying to get that out, we got it out. I can show you guys quickly how I got it out. Basically, all I did was I got this pickle fork that goes into an air hammer. Got my air hammer, and I got right up against the transmission, right in between the transmission and the axle, and I just try to hammer it out. That's all you do. Took a little bit, couldn't get the right angle, finally got it by just a little bit, was able to grab it a little bit, and it came out. And you guys can tell how much I was pulling on this thing. This thing's kind of messed up. It's messed up because of me, obviously, but that's okay. We're getting a new one anyways. This is what the new one looks like. New one looks nice, brand new. It's gonna sound much better too. So now we put it all back together, which praying is the easy part. Let's get to putting this axle in and then putting the steering knuckle in. All right, we got the new one in here, or we got the new one here, and we're going to put this in the transmission. You can put a little grease on here if you want. I don't have any that I know of, so it should be fine not putting any in there. Basically all you have to do is you put the longer side. You don't want the shorter side in. That goes in the knuckle. This one goes in the knuckle. You want the longer one. This, you just go into the transmission. I wish I had a light. And you spin it until it starts pushing in. So you'll see it kind of move in. Then you should be able to just push it in. We'll see how it wants to work with me. Boom. I don't know if you guys heard that click, but you want to hear that click. Once you hear it, then you know it's in. And you can also feel back here, and you want it basically almost up against the transmission. And then you'll know it's in. So now we have the new axle in. Exciting, it's about time. And now we have to put the new strut and the steering knuckle back in. Let me grab the strut and we will show you that. Okay, so I have the new strut right here and I have to get it into the knuckle. What I have to do though is I have to split this just a little bit so that I can hopefully slide that in. So I'm going to use my air hammer with a little chisel type thing. And we're going to spread it a little bit. And now I'm going to set you guys down really quick. Give me a second. Now I'm going to attempt to put this in. I'm hoping it's just going to slide in there and line up well. I gotta shut this compressor off quick because otherwise it'll turn back on and be loud. Okay, get my pickle fork out of the way. So, what you want to do is there's this little tab right here. You want to put that where that gap is on the knuckle, the one that we just tried to widen. You want to put that right in there. And hopefully it works, but we'll see. It hasn't been wanting to work for me lately. So I wasn't hitting the strut with the pickle fork. What I was doing was I was getting it on the side here, kind of spreading that open so I can push this down more. And you want it flush. There's a little groove down here that you want it flush with, which this one is now flush. So now that that is fully in, I can put the bolt and nut on and attempt to put it back in here. I feel like it probably is easier putting the knuckle on and then putting this in. We'll see. We always have the other side we have to do too, so maybe we'll try it the other way. But let's try to put this in. Okay, so we got the knuckle in the control arm. I haven't tightened it down yet because I still have to tighten the strut and then put that in. We're going to tighten the strut in first, which basically you go up here and it's just 3 bolts that you put in here. The problem is going to be lining it up while holding this up, but I will try my best. Tighten all these up. I gotta tighten this back one up, which I'm not gonna be able to do with that. Maybe if I get my small ones. Try to get my small 13. These are 13mm bolts. Alright guys, I think my camera died in the middle of this. I was able to get these lined up and tightened. They're 13mm bolts. There's 3 of them, 2 here, 1 back there. And the way I did it was my jack stopped working, which sucks, but I was able to use the one that came with the car. Jacked it up, lined it up, worked perfectly. My battery's about to die again. I have to put a new one in, so I'll be right back. Okay, we are back after me replacing the battery on the camera. So, we got the strut in. The knuckle is in the spots it's supposed to be in. I don't have the nuts on it yet because I want to quickly put the axle in, and then I can put that in, and then I can basically it's just putting it all back together. Once I have the axle in, tighten the axle, and then I'll tighten the bolts for the control arm, get this end link back on, which I will get new ones eventually because if you guys remember, this is torn, this boot is torn. Try and get a better view. This boot is torn. It'll be fine for now. I don't have end links at this time, so I'll just reuse it. I will get new ones though. But yeah, it's just basically putting it all back together. So, without further ado, let's do it. Okay, the compressor is done, so I'll just quickly zip this in. Again, I will torque that. I realized that my mic wasn't working for the last bit of me putting the axle in. I'll kind of voice over it so that you guys can hear it, but torque that axle nut. And then I just tightened it up. It brought it in a little bit, and now it should be good. So that movement is normal because I don't have the end link or the knuckle in the lower control arm. That will be the next thing we do. So let's get to that. All right, I forgot to bring my 1/2" 16, which kind of sucks because I can't put it on my impact, but it's not the end of the world because I got my little ratcheting wrench here. So basically it's pretty easy. You just want to line, I don't know if you, I'm hoping you guys can see this, but you want to line these studs with the holes. Just push it in. You can hold it up and you just put the nuts on. I'm hoping this will be able to do it. I don't know yet, we'll find out. Oh, I should probably put it on Tighten, huh? Let me try that again. All right, that's on. That was pretty easy, which I figured it would be. Let me move my little cart out of the way. I still have my old headers from the Miata. If you haven't went to see that video, definitely check it out. It's starting to look like a car again. Got the knuckle on, struts on. Axle is in, not torqued yet, but it is in. Lower control arm is in and tightened. Now we just got to put the end link on, got to put the caliper back on, and then a couple more things like these wires, which is super easy. So let's get to it. All right, the end links are going to be 18 millimeters. I remember that. I don't remember if I brought the 18.5". I'm going to use this and we're going to see what happens. I'm hoping it just tightens, but I know we were having problems with it last time. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have problems this time too, because it just keeps spinning. If you get new ones, they won't be spinning like that. So you should be able to just tighten them up and be good. Unfortunately, it's not working that way right now, which is fine. So since I don't have new ones, I'm going to do what I did when I got them off, which is use my vice grip. Now again, I recommend getting new ones. I'm only doing this because I do not have the new ones yet. I will get them on later. It's not gonna ruin anything. It'll be fine. It's just for now. Cool. Now I gotta somehow get this thing off. Get that out of the way. Okay, nice and tight. Perfect. Got that in. We got caliper. We got the tie rod, which I can do right now. Just turn this wheel a little bit. Tighten this nut up. I don't remember what size it is. I want to say like a 16, 17. Let's try 17. Ooh, no, it's an 18. That's all tight. And then we'll get the caliper on. Make sure you guys remember how this goes. You don't want to kink the lines or anything. That would be not good. I gotta grab the bolts for it, which are up here. Okay, so we tightened the end link. We got the outer tie rod tight. We're getting this caliper on right now. I don't have the bolts tight. There's just 2 bolts here and 1 here. You want to remember where this goes. I remember because there's this little hole here, right here, and that's where this little 10mm goes. Sorry if it's trying to focus. And you can just put that right in there and zip it on. You want to make sure that these lines aren't twisted or kinked, because that will cause brake failure. It will not, well, I guess not brake failure, but it'll cause this side to not work properly. And yeah, that's all we really have to do is put that on, put the caliper on, then put the tire on. Well, torque that, and then put the tire on. So that's pretty exciting. Let's do it. Okay, we got that little guy on. Now we got to get these caliper bracket bolts on, which look to be 19s. There's my 19. Couldn't find it at first, but we got it. I'm just gonna use again my little ratcheting wrench. Oh, these might not be 19s. These might be 20s. It's 20 millimeter. All right, it's got my 20. Now let's try it. Really, they're 21s. Interesting. 21s it is. Let me grab it. Okay, my impact can't really fit in there, and my impact, or my electric wrench isn't working, or I don't have a 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to tighten them this way. Make sure they're nice and tight. This bottom one. Perfect. Then we'll get these, go through this little hole here. Then this goes through here. Plug this guy in, which I hope I don't have to replace because it looks like there's some wire showing on that. Clip that in. And guys, we are done with this side. Minus torquing this, which I have to look that up quick. We're done. Which is crazy because a couple days ago I thought this was a lost cause because it was not coming out at all. But there is one thing that I need to do, is put that bolt in the strut tower so that it doesn't, fall off. So you need one of these 12-point M14 that goes in here, and then you just need a 18. Then you just put it through here. Hoping I have enough juice in the compressor where I don't have to turn it on. Guess we'll find out. I don't. Let me turn the compressor on real quick. All right, I have to wait for that compressor because it's leaking a little bit, so I have to wait for it to refill. So, tighten that guy real good, which it feels like I did. Let me try it one more time to make sure. Kicked right back on. Yeah, I've been trying to cut the compressor out because as you guys can hear, it's leaking from this plastic piece. So we're gonna have to get a new plastic piece. But now we just have to torque this axle nut and then we just put the tire on, guys. Like we're done with this side, which is huge. Was not expecting it to go this easy because when I worked on it this past weekend, it did not want to work at all. It didn't want to come off and it just didn't want to cooperate, and now it is. So let me grab the torque wrench and torque this axle nut. I gotta look it up quick and we'll go from there. Okay, so my camera died again. This is my second, gone through my second battery. You guys didn't see me put the tire on. All I did was put the tire on, torque it to about 90, 95 foot-pounds. And then I'm just going to put these plastic covers over it. This is the end result. Looks much better than it all torn apart. Then you can just literally push these right back on. I did torque these, like I said, to about, I want to say 95-ish. I always torque lug nuts to about 90 to 100, normally about 100, but 95 will be just fine. Cool. That side is officially done.